So, if you checking in the class, if you can hear me, put a one. If you can hear me well, put a one in the chat. Okay, sis said one. All right. Sign Chris. All right, let's get it. Let's get it going. All right, we're the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge. Started 1 West, 125th Street, out of Harlem, New York. Uh, under Commander General Yohana, and we teach that blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the children of Israel according to the Bible. Teach that day in and day out. Here in the ISUPK in the school, you know what I'm saying? If you checking in, you know what I'm saying? We got schools all over the U.S. We got them outside of the country, outside of the U.S., you know, Trinidad, Tobago, Jamaica, the UK, United Kingdom, Puerto Rico, Cuba. So if you want to learn more about your heritage according to the Bible, go ahead and go to ishpk.com and get the number and the link to the nearest school closest to you, so that you can learn this truth about yourself. All right. So, all right, we're gonna get into class, right? So today, class is called "How to Truly Serve the Most High." All right, that's what we're gonna do. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna get into how to truly serve the Most High. You know what I'm saying? I got a few topics I'm gonna get into. I got a few videos I'm gonna show you. And I'm gonna bring out all the precepts according to everything I'm gonna show you. Because this past week, every week is always something new. Of course, you always can expect some some BS to happen here in America. All right, you can bet your bottom dollar. All right, you can lay all your bills, all your you can put your house on the line. You can put your life on the line down there to know that something wild is gonna happen every week or every few days. All right, but that's what I'm gonna get to. So first off, I'm gonna go ahead and get right to it. I'm gonna get to y'all. I'm gonna get the Wisdom of Solomon. All right, we're gonna go to the Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. All right, because again, we learned how to serve the Most High correctly. That's what we gonna. That's what we have to learn. We have to learn how to serve the Most High correct. Because now is a time where people that say they know the Most High, or they say that they know God, right, or have some type of belief and don't understand how to correctly serve God. Because this world will have you to believe that God can you can serve the Most High any type of way you can. You know what I'm saying? Whatever you feel, whatever feel good to you. All right. That's idol worship. Whatever feels good to you is idol worship. That's not how to serve the Most High. Right. So I'm gonna pull up the first precept on the screen. I'm gonna get it for you. I'm gonna get to Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1. All right. I'm going to this for you. All right. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, verse 1. All right, let's get it. All right, it says, love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth. All right. Think of the Lord with a good heart, and in simplicity of heart seek him. All right. So it says, love righteousness. You, as a man and a woman, all right, especially you being a black man, a black woman, or a Hispanic man, Hispanic women, or of Native Indian descent, all right, you should love righteousness. All right. Righteousness is something that today you can't just. It's not. It's very rare. It's not something that you could just pick up and just do because of how we've been living here in America and all around the world. All right. So righteousness is a jewel in this place. Wisdom is a jewel. Right. That's why this book is called Wisdom of Solomon. Right. Because this wisdom is something that you should have close to you. Right. Because it is like the other scripture says, wisdom will be the stability of these times, right? And what more time do we need wisdom than now, right? We need wisdom more than ever now because this world is going into turmoil, right? Left, left, and right, you turn. There's something happening, right? This past week, they just had a No Kings protest against Donald Trump, right? They said no king's protest. They don't want a king to be over them, right? What did they have for how many presidents? 50? I don't know how many presidents it's been. It's been like 50, 52. If you're in the comments, if you know how many presidents there have been, enlighten me because I took my mind out of America, so I don't know how many presidents there have been. But you know what I'm saying? This time, you know. After all these years, at least 50 years of presidency, there's one man in office that wants to be a king, right? He wants to be a ruler. You know what I'm saying? Donald Trump sees Kim Jong-un. He sees Vladimir Putin. He sees the ruler of China, right? The president of China in various kingdoms and various countries and places. That's Donald Trump wants to be that. He wants to be a ruler over America, right? And he has a plan to do it. If you don't know, he has a plan to do these things, right? That's why here you need to love righteousness, right? So that you won't become this place. You're supposed to take your place, take your mind out of this place, all right? Don't be subject unto this, society that we live in because it's only going to rot with time. All right. You know what I'm saying? You know how you in the garden, if you know anything about gardening or growing fruits or anything, you grow something good. You know what I'm saying? You might grow that from a peach tree, right? But over time, if you leave that fruit that falls on the ground, it's going to rot over time. That's America. And that's the people, that's our oppressor, the people that rule over this place. Over time, you know what I'm saying? Over time, they will eventually rot along with this place. And they will continue to have this place going into turmoil and changing everybody's minds against God, right? Against what God wants. But the Most High has a plan, right? He has his ways, man. Right? It has been shown. It stood the test of time for thousands of years. The Most High has always answered, but He only gonna answer when His people come back to Him. Right? That's how it goes. Right? It's not one-sided. The Most High doesn't just do everything for you. Right? You gotta show Him something, and He'll reward you in the end. Right? So let's read that over. It says, "Love righteousness, ye that be judges of the earth." Right? Especially the judges of the earth, right? Us in the ISUPK, right? Mainly the priest of the Lord here in the ISUPK that's ordained by the Most High. It says, ye that be judges of the earth, we must love righteousness, right? Think of the Lord with a good heart. And in simplicity of heart, seek Him, right? In simplicity of heart. That means in everything you do. In everything you do, seek the Most High, all right? So let's go to verse 2. Verse 2. For He will be found of them that tempt Him not, and showeth Himself unto such as do not distrust Him. Right? All right. So it says, "For He will not be found of them that tempt Him not." Right. All right. So we don't tempt the Most High with vanity, with our thoughts. Just like I went over with the things that we think we need to do. We don't tempt the Most High with those things, right? We don't tempt Him with sin, right? We don't tempt the Most High with not understanding, right? We don't just try everything to see if it works, right? But that's what we have to have leadership for, because sometimes that's what people do. They try anything, right? They follow, you know what I'm saying, leaders of this world, you know what I'm saying, these Christian politicians and these pastors that's supposed to be leaders and watching the sheep and watching the people of the Most High, but really they just eating off the flock, right? They're eating off the poor, right? Instead of leading them into righteousness, right? Leadership has to be great in order for a nation to be built. You know, for people to change their ways and to live righteous under the Most High, right? You see the result of what's going on right now. You know what I'm saying? The result of what's going on right now is the fruit that these people labor, right? I probably said this in my last class, but leadership has to be on point. You can't. It's not gonna be, oh, you know, everybody just gonna do, you know, turn to the Most High by default. You have to have leadership. You have to have somebody righteous in leadership. You can't have, you know, somebody like T.D. Jakes, somebody like Al Sharpton, or in the past, Martin Luther King, right? Can't have nobody like that leading the people, because they're not perfect. And you have to be perfect as a leader. You cannot be mistakeful, or sometimes you make mistakes. That's not the Lord. That's not how the Lord works. You have to be a perfect leader. Christ said even himself, "Be therefore perfect, as your Father in heaven is perfect." You have to be a perfect leader. You have to be an example to the people, or therefore they will do, you know what I'm saying, whatever their heart desires, whatever their mind desires. They'll go after that lust, because we don't have somebody to watch over the people and teach the people. But here in the ISUPK, here in this school, in the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, under Commander General Yohana, we have perfect leadership, right? We have all our generals, our captains, our officers, you know what I'm saying, and our troopers coming up, you know, to perfect that leadership, right? Let's keep going. All right, that second part. For he will, second verse, he will be found of them that tempt him not, and showeth himself unto such as do not distrust him. Right? He's gonna show himself for people that have faith. Right? You know what I'm saying? So let's go to verse 2. No, verse 3. Verse 3. For forward thoughts separate from God. Right? And his power, when it is tried, reproveth the unwise. Right? Let's read that first part again. For forward thoughts separate from God. Right? These are thoughts in your mind that that you are focused on evil. Right? Focused, like I just said, focused on your lust and your desires instead of what the Most High wants. All right? You know what I'm saying? I say this time and time again. You know what I'm saying? You were not, you know, put on this earth by default. You didn't get here on your own. You didn't create yourself, right? You're not the author of life and death, right? You're not. You know what I'm saying? I'm not. The Most High is, right? You know what I'm saying? He has that power, right? Like, what did you do? Create yourself inside the womb? Did you bring yourself forth out of that womb, right? Your mother and your father had the sexual intercourse, you know what I'm saying, and brought you into this world, right? But you didn't form yourself in the womb. You don't have the power to do it. It happens after the sex is done. Then you come to fruition. You come to be. Then you're here. Who else other than the Most High has that power? Nobody. Nobody does. That's how it works, man. That's how it works down here. So for you to think with forward thoughts, as verse 3 says, that separates from the Most High, right? Because you think you know what you're doing on this earth. All right? You know, we done all grew up here in this earth, you know what I'm saying? Learning this and learning that, learning the ways of man, you know what I'm saying? Because of how detrimental things have happened in your life, and how this earth came to be, how this society came to be, right? It's because of what happened. You know what I'm saying? But as you get older, now, you know what I'm saying, you don't stay in the same spot. You don't keep your same habits that you did growing up as a child. All right? It wasn't your fault as a child and you had no way to fight. But now that you're older, now that you have the strength as an adult and the mind and the maturity to get better, now this is your chance, you know what I'm saying, to show the Most High that you want something better for your generations, right? As a man, as a woman, for your children that's gonna come forth later, right? You gotta fight for those things. You can't continue the same cycle. So your mind has to change, right? So you can't have forward thoughts. You can't be focused, you know what I'm saying, a simpleton in this earth. You can't be a simple-minded person, right? The simple things are good, but simple as into following everything that everybody else follows. That's why it's called forward thoughts. And forward thoughts separate from God, right? Let's keep going. And his power, right? When it is tried, reproveth the unwise. All right, verse 4. For until a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in the body that is subject unto sin. Right. That's heavy right there. So make it a little bit. So it says, for forward thoughts separate from the Most High. No, it's like, into a malicious soul wisdom shall not enter. Right? Wisdom is not going to enter into a malicious soul. You know what I'm saying? Let's get the definition of malicious. All right. All right. This is the definition of malicious. I'm reading it on the other screen. It says malicious means intending or intended to cause harm, right? Injury or damage, often characterized by spite, ill will, or desire to hurt others. All right? That's what a malicious is. All right? So wisdom is not going to enter into that soul. All right? Nor dwell in a body that is subject unto sin. Right? It's not going to come to you because you're too focused, or whoever is too focused on damage, on control, right? Hurting their brother, hurting their sister, hurting themselves, right? Hurting themselves. That's why wisdom cannot enter in, because you abuse the ones around you. I just told you about, you know what I'm saying, you probably growing up, you know what I'm saying, or you know, being taught by, you know, people that don't have good leadership, right? Like leadership starts in the household, right? You know, men have to be in the household for a steady house, right? You know what I'm saying? Because a lot of times, you know what I'm saying, sisters be out there by themselves, and it's gonna be a rough ride for that sister. All right, and that sister's gonna be filled up with anger. She's gonna be filled up with strife. She's gonna be filled up with a lot of malicious thoughts, right? Because, you know what I'm saying, the family is not together, right? And that's what we have to do as men and women, and the Black, Hispanic, Native Indian, you know what I'm saying, as God's people. We have to correct ourselves and come back together, right? Bring your families together. That's where it's gonna start. Christ said, I believe in Matthew, what I'm saying, Yahushua, he said that, uh, uh, he said, first you bind the strong man, right? I'm paraphrasing. Your household can't be taken over except if you bind a strong man, right? Like you can't your house can't be broken except you take the strong man out of the house, right? Because that's where the leadership starts, right? And come after that is the mother, right? And you teach the children in righteousness, right? All right, let's keep going. Verse 5. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit. All right? The Holy Spirit, right? The Holy Spirit of discipline, it's going to flee deceit, right? If you have a disciplined spirit, the things that you need, what I'm saying, for your spirit to become stronger, right? You need discipline. All right? Discipline comes from doing something over and over and over again. All right? You know, you take whatever vice, what I'm saying, that you hate, what I'm saying, everything that's keeping you from getting strong as a person, or moving forward, right, in your life. It has to come a time of discipline. You know what I'm saying? You have to do things over and over. You know what I'm saying? It's like working your muscles. All right, you're working out. You know what I'm saying? The only way you're gonna get those biceps stronger is continue to do curls. All right, each rep at a time, doing it over and over. You're not gonna get the results you want in one day. Right? That's not gonna happen because you need discipline. You know, people want the fast route. You know what I'm saying? They take steroids. That's what they do. They take steroids, right, to build their muscles. But guess what comes with steroids? Side effects. Steroids make side effects. Right? Side effects come with steroids and drugs for muscles. Right? But if you work out naturally, right, and eat healthy and keep a discipline over time, guess what? You won't have many side effects. Yeah, you're gonna be sore, right? But the soreness will go away. That just means you build a muscle. So that's how discipline works, right? For your spirit, right? It's the same way. It's the same. This time is mental. It's in your brain, right? So it's where your thoughts come from, right? So let's read it from the top again. For the Holy Spirit of discipline will flee deceit and remove from thoughts that are without understanding, and will not abide when unrighteousness cometh in. There it is, right? And remove from the thoughts that are without understanding, right? So discipline, the Holy Spirit of discipline, right? Deceit is not going to be in you once you get it, right? All right. So let's get this one. I'm gonna get a precept for what I just read, right? Let me get this real quick. I'm gonna get Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. All right. Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. All right, this is something that we can go over real quick. Let's get it. All right, so this is it. I'm going off of what I just went over. So this is Matthew chapter 5, verse 29. All right, it says, this is Christ speaking too. So, and if thy right eye offend thee, pluck it out, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. Right? All right, verse 30. And if thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, and not that thy whole body should be cast into hell. All right, so this is a parable or a saying that Christ gave to the people, right? Going off of lust, right? But yeah, right. So going off what I said, you know what I'm saying, for you to get that discipline and for you to serve the Most High and to get rid of your vices, right? Get rid of your lust, you know what I'm saying? The lust of sleeping with a horse, or for a woman being a whore, or for you to get what food discipline if you would like, or if you need discipline from alcohol, right? From drinking alcohol all the damn time, right? Or getting discipline, you know what I'm saying, to get rid of your childhood, right? Get rid of the things that made you into the monster that you are today, right? All of these things, you know what I'm saying? Even the things that the Lord said not to do, you know what I'm saying? And the dietary laws, right? For us to not eat certain things that you can't get away, that you just crave for, like shrimp, crab, and lobster, and pork. Well, the Lord called all those things an abomination in the Bible, right? But you know what I'm saying, it's right for him to say these things, you know what I'm saying, for your body to be healthy, and for everything to work how it's supposed to, in unison. That's how this world has to work. He's not telling you this just for no reason, just to be, you know what I'm saying, to stand out, to be holier than thou. This is how the world works. This is the Most High's wisdom, not yours, right? So let's read 29. Read 30 again. If thy right hand offend thee, cut it off, right? So if your right hand offends you, right, cut that thing off, man. Not literally, of course, right? He's saying for your hands to go to do certain things, right? He's saying cut it off. He's giving a saying and a parable, right? A metaphor, right? And up top he said, if thy right eye offend thee, right? So the things that you look at, right? Like say if you like to watch, porn or something like that, right? If that right eye offends you, you know what I'm saying, plug it out, man. If that vice or that lust is offending you, take it out, right? Get rid of it, man. You know what I'm saying? That's the only way that you can perfect yourself, right? You know what I'm saying? Get rid of that vice that you love, man, that lust that you love. You know what I'm saying? Get rid of it. So when he says that right hand offend thee, cut it off and cast it from thee. For it is profitable for thee that one of thy members should perish, right? One of your members. Like one of the things that whatever is keeping you, you know what I'm saying, stuck, you know what I'm saying, out of the Most High's, way, the Most High's mercy. You know what I'm saying? You got to cut that thing off. Whatever's taking you off your path, right? You got to get it the hell up out of here, right? That's what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? So that one thing is gone. Even if it's just one thing, that one lust or you know what I'm saying, one thing that's detrimental to your health, you know what I'm saying, that should be gone, rather than your whole body should be cast into hell, right? Hell meaning, you know what I'm saying, and to destruction, right? Hell also meaning that you shouldn't be, you won't die, right? So you won't suffer here on this earth, right? You can see that on the streets, man. People that do, drugs, you know what I'm saying, fentanyl, you know what I'm saying, or any crack or any weed, any K2, things like that. They suffering because they can't cut those things off because they can't get rid of it, right? And then soon they'll perish because of that. When they could just cut that one thing off, it's detrimental to their lives, right? That's what the Lord is talking about here. All right. So let's keep going. Okay, let me get uh, Most High Christ, the water for sister my sister Manaima for checking in. The water. Uh, Shout out to Sister Azaria, rib of Officer Amawaj. She's checking in also. So the water. All right, we're gonna keep it going, right? Let me let me get. I'm gonna move on. Let me get Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and 12. So we're gonna move on to Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1 and verse 12. So I'm gonna go right back to the same book we was just at. So I continue. Slack it. All right, let's get it. Let's get it. Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, verse 12. All right. All right, Wisdom of Solomon chapter 1, verse 12. Put up on the screen. All right. Verse 12 says, seek not death in the era of your life. Right? The Lord says, don't seek death, right, in the era of your life. And pull not upon yourselves destruction with the work of your hands. Right? It says, seek not death in the era of your life. What does that mean? All right? When it says, seek not death in the area of your life, this is a scripture for a suicide, right? Or unaliving yourself. You know, want to be uncensored for Facebook. This is something for unaliving yourself, right? Or it could be something where you just don't want to. You wish you could go. You know what I'm saying? When you're going through trials, right? You're going through tribulations, right? That's what most people. You know what I'm saying? They just want to check out. Sometimes some people don't even want to die. They just want to go away for a long time. You know, that's usually what happens. But some people, this is really the only way to get away from this hell, right? But this is not wisdom. That's not wisdom. That's not the way you're gonna fix the problem, because you're just gonna end up right back here again, right? So don't seek death in the era of your life, right? You may be dealing with, you know what I'm saying, all of the past of your struggles of your childhood, the struggles in this life, you know what I'm saying, will have you to go crazy, right? It will have you, you know what I'm saying, want to check out. You know what I'm saying? Single mothers, you know what I'm saying, even check out every now and then because, you know, they have a baby, you know what I'm saying, and they get overwhelmed and their minds, you know what I'm saying, break, right? Or a man that has been living under this oppression, you know what I'm saying, you know, being worked, you know what I'm saying, by this oppressor every damn day, you know what I'm saying, being on child support, right? And not having a way to really live, can't get a break, all right? So people want to unalive themselves, right? And this is why our school, the ISUPK is so important, because we stop these type of things from happening, right? That's why we do what we do day in and day out to reach brothers and sisters so they will not see death when their lives are in turmoil, right? Or going crazy, right? To get people off of drugs, to heal the sick, right? That's why we do what we do, because people are going crazier than ever right now, right? So when the Lord says seek not death in the area of life, that's a command, man. You know what I'm saying? Because there's a way to get out of this. You know what I'm saying? The Lord said that He will make a man more precious than fine gold, man. Right? He's gonna make a man, right, and even sisters, in His truth. You know what I'm saying? More precious than fine gold, right? He's gonna make you new, right? But you have to be tested. You're gonna be tested here on this earth, right? And only the strong will survive, right? So why not keep going? And it says, and put not upon yourself destruction with the work of your hands, right? So you can't. Life and death is not in the power of your hands, just like I went over earlier, right? So you cannot do those things, man, right? That's why we have a way. You can get counsel, you can get, advice from professionals in the school. You know what I'm saying? We work for Black, Hispanics, and Native Indians under God, right? Under the Most High, under Commander General Hunter in the school, right? We work for you. You know what I'm saying? We work for the people, right? We are commanded by God to go out and seek for the poor, and to seek for the people that have these issues, these mental issues, that want to take death in their own hands, right? I want to unalive themselves. But all those things are not going to work, right? There's only one solution, right? We have to turn back to the Most High in order to get stronger, right, here on this earth. You got to work that muscle, man. You got to keep working until you get better. You know what I'm saying? That's why the Lord said that he that endureth to the end shall be saved, man. All right? Because it's a marathon and not a sprint. All right? You're going to have good days. You're going to have bad days. You're going to have a lot of bad days. You may have a lot of good days and little bad days. Either way, you got to keep going, right? Because that's the Lord testing you. And your reward is at the end. I pray you understand that. Your reward is at the end. It's at the end of the tunnel, right? That's why it's so detrimental to have faith. You have to have faith today, because faith, it's not something obtainable, right? You can't hold it with your hands. You can't see it, right? The scriptures say that faith is the works of the things that you can't see, right? The things that you can't see, but it's a faith, right? And that's what's so hard, because people don't want that. That's the hard part about all of this. People don't want something that they can't see or can't obtain right away. They got to see it. That's why the Lord said that you are fools for Christ's sake. We are fools for the Most High, because we are doing this. And people think we are crazy. They think we are out of our minds, our goddamn minds. But everything that we have been prophesying since 1969 in this Bible and teaching these scriptures is coming to pass, day by day, over and over. All right? So let's keep going. It said verse 13, for God made not death, right? He didn't make death, right? He said, neither hath he the pleasure in the destruction of the living, right? So that's what it means by the Lord made not death, right? He didn't make death for you to die, right? We only learn death through our wickedness. But if you're righteous, you will never know death. You'll never know that. You never understand it. We was never supposed to get near it because, you know what I'm saying, we will understand to live a long life, right? Eventually you're gonna die, but you're not gonna die by drugs. You're not gonna die by getting shot in the streets. Not gonna die by the hands of crooked cops. You're not gonna die by the hands of of your of molesters, man. Right? Of people that molest children, or from people that do all these wicked things that cause you to want to unalive yourself. Right? You're not gonna die like that. You're gonna live a long, good life, a long life, long, healthy life. Right? And you're gonna receive the Most High's mercy. Right? And at the end of your life, you go out peacefully. This is how it's supposed to go right here. You're supposed to be on your deathbed at 100 and something years old, maybe, right? Still healthy, you know what I'm saying? Your bones still strong, you know what I'm saying? You can still walk, you know what I'm saying? But you're deteriorating. You're at your end, all right? Just because of how long you live, right? That's a better death than suffering in an electric chair, or suffering in some prison, dying slowly from some sickness that they got you in, right? It's better to die like that. You're looking at your daughters, your sons, your grandchildren, your great grands on your deathbed as you fade off until the Most High comes to take your spirit. That's a peaceful death, right? And you have everything at your hands. That's better. That's gonna be the kingdom of heaven. You're gonna live long like that, and then guess what? The Most High is gonna send you back to your family again to have these things that you inherited here on this earth. That's heaven, right? That's what heaven's supposed to be like. Not the ghettos that we grow up today, not the barrios and the reservations that we suffering in today. That's gonna end, right? Most High has an end for all those wicked things that we've been through, right? But you have to endure. All right. So let's move on, right? I'm going to continue to show you how to truly serve the Most High, right? Because, like, I'm going to go back to the leadership that I was talking about earlier. You know, the leadership that's lacking for blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians. It has been lacking for years, right? All right. I'm in the wrong chapter. Slack. All right. Slack about that. I'm gonna get Luke chapter 16, right? Verse 19. Hold on, give me 1 second. All right, I'm gonna get this one instead. I'm gonna get Matthew chapter 7, verse 16, right? This is going back to the leadership I was talking about earlier. So let's start there, right? All right, I'm gonna start at 13 right here at the top. So this is Matthew chapter 7, verse 13. Okay. It says, enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. All right. So think about just visualize it real quick. Think about the gate, right? So you're going through a straight gate, right? You can't go left nor right, right? It's just a straight and narrow way after you go through the gate, right? So it says, wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, right? Because you got too many ways that you can turn, right? Think about being in a large city filled with every abomination unto the Most High, right? You may be walking through and you're not focused enough, right? So therefore, you're going to go left, you're going to go right. You're going to go to all the things that has distractions, you know what I'm saying? All the sin of the world. That's what we're going through here in this earth, right? But that's why he says, enter ye at the straight gate, right? The one path, you know what I'm saying? So you can go to righteousness. But if you go to broad, right, everybody's going that way, right? It's too much room. Everybody's doing that. So that's how you know that's not the way to go, right? Which goes back to the leadership I was talking about, especially in these Christian churches. You know what I'm saying? The leadership there, everybody follows is broad, right? You have many people. Let me look up there. I'm gonna look this up on Google. How many people follow Christianity in the world? How many people? All right. You can look this up yourself, but I'm reading it right here. I looked up how many people follow Christianity in the world. It says there are approximately 2.4 billion Christians worldwide, making Christianity the world's largest religion. I just read that for you. So what I just read was, enter ye in the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction. There's a lot of people in that broad gate, man. Because 2.4 billion people follow Christianity, are Christians in this world, man. That's a roundup, right? Everybody follows that way, all right? And the Lord said he has an elect. He has an elect of people. How many people are actually really following the Most High, right? That's a question right there. Big question mark, right? Let me go to 14. Matthew chapter 7, verse 14. Because straight is the gate and narrow is the way, right? He said, straight is the gate and narrow is the way, not the broad way, right? With narrow is the way which leadeth unto life, and few there be that find it, right? I don't think 2.4 billion Christians is few. That seems like a hell of a lot of people that think they know the Most High, right? And and I'm talking to Black, Hispanic, and Native Indians that follow Christianity and Catholicism, right? And everything that this oppressor has taught us, all these damn lies they gave us, through our families and through our generations, and it has been stuck. But the truth of the Bible is blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians are the children of Israel according to the Bible. That we are the Israelites. We are God's chosen people. And that is not a broad way. That's a narrow way, right? To follow Christ. To follow a black man by the name of Yahushua, right? That's who the world ignorantly calls Jesus, right? That's the narrow way. Christ was a man of war. He was a man, a military general. That's how stern he was. And he had the plan. He had the plan. He already knew what it was. And that 2.4 billion people is not following the plan. How many black, Hispanic, and Native Indians are a part of that 2.4 billion? They're not following the right way. Verse 15. Beware of false prophets, which come to you in sheep's clothing, but inwardly they are ravening wolves. That's pretty self-explanatory. They come to you all nice, right? Just like in a Christian evangelist. What they do, they go over, they travel to the Philippines or to Mexico, or, you know what I'm saying, some Christianity, go spread that bull jive to our people, right? Really give you a lie that's going to destroy you, going to destroy your family. That's going to get you off the Most High side, right? Verse 16, ye shall know them by their fruits. Do men gather grapes of thorns or figs of thistles? That's what Christ said. He said, you're going to know them by their fruit. You're going to know them by what they produce, right? Whether it's of righteousness or unrighteousness. In the Christian church, what I'm getting ready to show you on this video is unrighteous. And it's evil, right? Verse 17, I'm going to read this and I'm going to get you the video. Verse 17, so every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit. So let's go. Let me show you exactly what Christ is talking about, right? Because here in the ISUPK, we don't produce bad fruit, right? Everybody's reputation in this school is very up to par, right? Every officer up to the captains, and of course our generals, our 7 generals in the school. Commander General Hunter has taught us, you know what I'm saying, has taught us all of the, you know what I'm saying, the righteousness that we're supposed to have. He already gave us the blueprint. All he's doing is following what Christ is following. And we got the blueprint to life, to have better families, to build up, you know what I'm saying, our children and our wives and our generations, man. You know what I'm saying? And our brothers, right? We got the blueprint to it, and it has been working. I'm a product of it, my damn self, right? I've been a product of it here in this school for about 5 years, right? Being a product of Most High's mercy and learning, you know what I'm saying, our heritage, and learning our you know what I'm saying, our way of life in this school, man. Made me personally a better man. Made a lot of brothers a better men, and made sisters better women. And what comes from that, those families like that, we raise strong children. You're not gonna have to go through what we went through as children, right? We are continuously breaking the curse, right? Shout out to Here to Learn. She was Brooke R. Yahweh Shemal Atah Bashimal Shai, sis. The one for checking in the class. Let's get this next one right. I'm gonna get y'all this video of what Christ was talking about here in this parable. If you was watching the Black Watch last night, and you probably seen this video. Let me make it a little bit bigger. Not the comments. All right, it says Pastor Marvin Winans. I don't know if you know about Marvin Winans. He used to be a singer. You know what I'm saying? Now, you know what I'm saying? A lot of these singers become pastors. That music money kind of going out the window. I underbody to you, sister. I'm gonna show you a few videos actually. All right, let's get it.
Faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235. I, Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
All right. I'm gonna play it one more time.
Hi, Roberta.
Man, this is some. Ooh, man. I can't cuss on here. I get checked. I want to say some of the most vilest things about these disgusting snakes called a pastor. I'm going to explain to you why. All right? Let's watch it one more time.
Roberta McCoy, giving faith and stand in unity with the vision of Perfecting Church of sowing this seed of $1,000 plus $235 and receiving the blessings to come to all that participated.
Now that's only $1,200.
Yes.
Y'all not listening to what I'm saying. If you have 1,000 plus 1,000.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna work on the other 800.
Well, that ain't what I asked you to do.
God damn. Good night. Wow. Now that's just crazy, man. So this sister comes up, giving she done work. This is what these churches do, man. This is what Pastor Marvin Winans probably do. You know what I'm saying? Pastor Marvin Winans, this damn snake, this damn disgusting filth of a man, probably had all his members, you know what I'm saying, go out and save money. And he had a due date. I don't know, I never read this, but I'm telling you, he had a due date for his members to get a specific amount of money, a certain specific amount of months to bring back that money, like a pimp does. Like a pimp holds out, you know what I'm saying, sisters, right? Come bring their money back on this date, and it better be everything. It better be all my money, right? I better not be short, just like a drug dealer too. You short a drug dealer or a cartel member a few dollars even. she could have came up there with 1,800. She could have came up there with $1,900, probably 100 left. Come on, man. Very conscious. She said these pastors do not care about it. Yes, not at all. This is what they care about. I just went over how Christ said, "Ye shall know them by their fruits, and to beware of false prophets." Right? He said, "You shall know them by their fruits," because they only care about money. Right? Like you just said. He said they do not care about the people. It's going to show you. It's going to show. Whatever your heart, how the Lord said, he said, whatever a man thinketh, that so is he. All right? And he's showing you what he's about in multiple pastors. All right. She said that would have broke my heart. Right. Because you know that, like, and she even said afterwards, I'm going to work on the other 800. Like she's dedicated to the church, you know what I'm saying, getting the church's donations as money. But he has to get a cut too. He has to get a percentage of his money. You know what I'm saying? You only got 1,200. He was supposed to get the other 1,000 and then give the other 1,000 to the church. He like, you're short. That's a pimp in a suit and teaching about Jesus Christ. Not really. That's who Marvin Winans is. This bald-headed bastard. All right? That's who this is, man. Christ said, "Ye shall know a tree by its fruit," man. All right? That's what he said. So let's keep. Let me pull one more. Let me pull you one more video. I already know y'all seen this one. I just wanted to pull this for kicks and giggles.
There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. There's 1,000 of you. I said close.
That's too short.
I'd rather be by my.
That's too short. So might play an ad. Might play an ad. Good Lord.
Quick moment. I want everybody to remain standing quickly. How many of y'all really received something from the word of the Lord tonight? Listen, when you study scripture, you will notice that whenever God did something in the lives of the patriarchs of old, the patriarchs would pause, they would set up an altar, and they would offer up sacrifice.
All right.
I asked each and every one of you how many of y'all received something from the word of the Lord. Everyone in this place said these words.
See, that's how they set it up. This is the witchcraft of the Christian church. Not only the music, I was like playing on the last video to go with the mood of everything. All right, but he set it up perfect. He said, how many of you received, you know what I'm saying, the word of the Lord today? Everybody's like, yeah, we did. He's about to tell you real quick. Yeah, if you received a good word, guess what? The Most High's word is sold. It's sold. It's SOLD. It's to be sold. This is what he's telling you. The Most High's word is to be sold. All right?
Will be $20,000. Now, for those of us who are on the dais, I'm taking you higher, so put it back. I'm a strong believer that leaders lead not only in time, not only in talent, but also in treasure. Leaders lead in time, talent, and treasure. I was taught a long time ago that it costs to sit up here. There's 1,000 of you. I said close them doors. Ushers, close the doors. Close the doors. Close the doors. We all gonna leave together. Y'all ain't going no place but to the restaurant.
Good Lord. But look at the pastors in the back, man. They shaking their head like, dude, is you really doing this right now? like, relax. Relax. This is crazy, all right? Because he said leaders lead, all right? Leaders lead. I just went over what a true leader of the Most High was, right? All right? See, in here in ISUPK, we pay our tithes, right? We are not hounded like some pimp to get some money in, and we should give money to righteous people. But these people right here, They need your money, right? They need your money. They need your money to get what they want, right? Not to keep the lights, the building lights on. Because listen, the spirit behind what's going on with these type of pastors, right? It's the same demon. They are ready to check out, right? It's almost time for them to check out. The time is short because if they don't keep this building up, right, and the church is falling slowly, it's falling very slowly. It's happening though. If you don't see the tone in their voice and the urgency in them, the other pastor said, "I ain't told you to get that much money. You're missing $800. He told them to close the doors until I get my money." This is a time of desperation. They're desperate for the money right now, right? This is why black people are questioning the Christian church every single week, because something like this will happen. And it makes them wonder, where's the house of the Most High at? Right? Where's the truth for the Most High? Because everybody's struggling right now, not just some damn Christian pastors. You think your people ain't out there struggling? If you taught them exactly how to govern themselves and how to do money right, righteously, and where to put the money instead of on that damn dashiki, that ugly ass dashiki you got on, then maybe you could have made people understand, you know what I'm saying, how to gather together and get the congregation together. But just like in Jeremiah chapter 23 says that woe be unto the pastors that scatter the sheep of my pasture, because you scattering the Lord's flock. You making them confused and you don't know what the hell you're doing, because you teach for hire, you teach for money, and this is why your destruction is coming. This is going to be the result of these stinking Christian pastors. And you've earned it. You've earned your reward. You earned exactly what you're about to get. Right? So let me get these last two for you, and then we're going to close our class, right? Let's get Luke. Luke chapter 12. All right. This is perfect. I'll pull this up for you. This is Luke chapter 12, verse 2. All right, Luke chapter 12, verse 2. Let's get one first. I'm going to go verse 1. Verse 1. In the meantime, when they were gathered together an innumerable multitude of people, insomuch that they trode upon one another. So there was so much people there, you know what I'm saying, just like at a concert, a big concert with a bunch of people on the floor, and they just falling over each other, you know what I'm saying, that type of thing. It's a lot of people. All right. He began to say unto his disciples, first of all, he said, beware of the leaven of the Pharisees, which is hypocrisy. This is what Christ was talking about, you know what I'm saying, to these type of people that teach the way these two pastors do. You know what I'm saying? The way these pimps do, because that's exactly what these people were doing back then. These are your modern day, you know what I'm saying, Sadducees and Pharisees, you know what I'm saying, and Christian pastors, you know, politics, right? And your politicians. These are your modern day Sadducees and Pharisees. These are the same people, you know what I'm saying, back then that did what they did. You know what I'm saying, the religious leaders of that time, right? He said, beware of the leaven, right? What does leaven do? Leaven puffs up something. It raises bread, right? You put leaven in the bread, it's gonna be puffed up, right? And he's calling these Pharisees, just like these Christian pastors I just showed you, they are puffed up with pride. Yeah? This is the demon that they have on them, right? Which is hypocrisy, right? They are hypocrites to the people, right? But people continue to follow them, right? Verse 2, for there is nothing covered that shall not be revealed, neither hid that shall not be known, right? So don't be a hypocrite like these pastors, because it's not, everything is coming to the light, right? Everything's coming to the light. You know what I'm saying? Because there's nothing covered that should not be revealed, man. And these pastors are being revealed for exactly who they are. Soon they are going to be sitting there. They have a day coming. When these churches get shut down, soon here in the future, they are going to meet their day, right? They're going to be devastated. Their day is coming, and they're going to be distraught because of the wickedness that they have done. All right. Verse 3. Verse 3. Therefore, whatsoever ye have spoken in darkness shall be heard in the light. All right. And that which ye have spoken in the ear in the closets shall be proclaimed upon the housetops. Right. Everything that has been done in darkness shall come to the light, man. For everybody that follow these Christian pastors, it's going to be revealed. The Lord said it. Right? So let's get Matthew chapter 5. No, Matthew chapter 7 and 16. Oh, all right, went over there, Slack. Chapter 5, Slack. Matthew chapter 5, verse 3. All right. All right, let's read from top at verse 1. Matthew chapter 5, verse 1. And seeing the multitudes, he went up into a mountain. And when he was set, his disciples came up to him. Verse 2. He opened his mouth and taught them, saying, all right, this is what Christ taught. This is not what Marvin Sapp and Marvin Winans and T.D. Jakes and the rest of them bastards teach. This is what they do not teach. All right? They teach for hire, as the scriptures say. The scriptures say that they teach for hire. All right? This is what Christ taught, though. And this is what the Israelite School Universal Practical Knowledge teaches. Verse 3. Blessed are the poor in spirit, for theirs is the kingdom of heaven. All right? The Lord said, blessed are the poor in spirit. Man. Blessed are the poor. All right? This is something that they cannot understand at all. This is something that's not in them. And not in that congregation that follows them. All right? Because they think that the rich are blessed because of how much money they can give or how much money they can get. All right? The Lord going to show you otherwise, though. He's going to show you something. He said, blessed are the poor in spirit. All right? Theirs is the kingdom of heaven. That's who the Most High wants. Most High wants a broken spirit and a contrite heart. He wants people that's low, humble, and meek, man. That's what he wants. Because they have something to give. They have something to live for, something to work towards, instead of somebody being rich and prideful in this place, like these damn pastors. Verse 4. Blessed are they that mourn, for they shall be comforted. Right? They're going to be comforted in that day. In that day when the Lord brings the kingdom of heaven down. Right? He brings his order down. They're gonna be happy in that day. because their suffering is going to end. All right? Blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. All right? The meek are going to inherit the earth. The humble, the people that understand not to be prideful and not to have leaven like these pastors, not to have leaven like the Sadducees and Pharisees did. All right? Verse 6, blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. All right. I don't see, look, man, people that wear purple, they got something in common, or have purple in their church. They have something in common. They don't like to feed the poor, man. They don't feed the poor. All right? Because they find scriptures that say that don't help them if they don't help themselves. Christ didn't say do that. He didn't say help them if they're able to help themselves. He said go feed the poor, damn it. That's why you're not of the Most High, and you're a bastard, and you're going to get destroyed. You're going to get cut off, man. The Lord is going to get you the hell up out of here real soon. And you're going to know in that day that you are a vagabond. You're going to know that you are disgraceful and a bastard of the Lord, man. That's what's coming to you. The Lord said, go and feed my flock, man. Physically and spiritually, right? It don't hurt to give somebody something to eat, man. You selfish bastard. Verse 6, I'm going to read it again. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled. Blessed are the merciful, for they shall obtain mercy. Verse 8, blessed are pure in heart, for they shall see God. Man. Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called the children of God. Man. All right? I'm going to stop right there, though. All right? Like, I hate I read that scripture in verse 9. Blessed are the peacemakers, because everybody think Donald Trump was a peacemaker. Look like that peace didn't work, because hours after his so-called peace deal, he continued with a bombing. He said, peace for a few minutes. And get back to bombing. Right? But that's the way of the oppressor, which has taught our people, man. All right, so with that, man, I'm going to close our class. So the water for our brothers and sisters who may have been watching. You know what I'm saying? This is ISUPK South Carolina, also ISUPK Augusta. Right? We have a school in Augusta under Officer Ibaria. So look up the number on isupk.com. All right. You can look up, we got classes every day. You know what I'm saying? Tonight for South Carolina, check into Captain Nyathock's class at 7 o'clock. We're going to be joining North Carolina, Durham, North Carolina for Captain Nyathock's class tonight at 7. And it's going to be live on the South Carolina page. All right. That's where it's going to be at. That's where it's going to air at tonight. So tune in for that. So Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, to the brothers, Yahweh Shema Allah by Hashem, Yahweh Shai to all the sisters. And with that, Shalom. Also, Ayan the body, you sis. And Shalom, sisters.